hello, my hey, I got something to say, people. Staying on 2 in a week for the month of March to honor International Women's Day. Why not make it a month? And today, I actually have a friend of mine who I haven't spoke to in forever. Valerie Kim is in the house from Poland. So while it's 3 o'clock here, it is going to be 8 p.m. there. I love that. And man, does this girl have some journeys. I think she's lived in about 5 countries. That's right, 5 countries. And not only that, she was a world champion, right? Athlete, a world champion. Wow, that was so funny. She was a world champion athlete.
Speak, so I'll wait till she comes on and she can tell you all about it. But I was thinking, I haven't seen in person, nor even, I was talking about you, Valerie. Hi.
I do feel it. How are you?
I was just saying, forget seeing in person, but we haven't connected in a while. And I reached out to some of my international friends, one being you. And I thought, we got to highlight you during International Women's Month, right?
Yay. Yes.
You're fabulous as usual. So I was telling him a little bit about you, but let's go back. I'm going to read your bio just a little bit so they get a feel for who you are, and then we'll dive into your big statement. So Valerie Kim is the founder of, is it Kolibri Productions?
Yes, it is
I love
Kolibri.
that. Kolibri. You say it much nicer. Kolibri Productions Group. She's an author, a psychologist, and a world champion athlete. In what sport, Valerie? In what sport?
Ballroom dancing.
Do it. Yes, I said dance. And she's lived in 5 countries and currently on a mission to light up people to be their true self and speak up with their gifts and abilities to create a fulfilled, happy life. So Valerie, I sent out your profile and who you were before you came on, so it pop up as we speak. But let's dive right into it. Your big statement that you wanted to tell women around the world was, we are not slaves, we are creators. I need to know why you picked that one, because of all the years I've been doing this, that is a unique one. So let's get into it, Valerie.
Well, as you know, when we come into this world, I see it really as a playground, a space in a good sense, of course, as when you are as a soul come here to really to self-discovery, explore what are you capable of, what are you made of, and how much treasure you have inside of yourself. And that's why when I say speak up, it's speaking up with your true natural abilities, skills, whatever is given to you by God in order to unleash it. Unfortunately, when we go through so much things like social conditioning, different kind of judgment, when we say, don't be this way, don't be that way, and being a human, we do want to be loved, we want to be appreciated, we do want to be accepted, we really disconnect with who we are on emotional level or on the level of the soul, like why we're actually here. That's why many people, they don't know what they want. They don't know basically what is the life about. And nowadays you can notice that a lot of people starting to wake up, and that's why there are so many different courses appeared, like find your plan, define your like purpose in life. It has a reason, because people started to question, and this is a good sign. From the other side, it's still like, why do I say like we're not slaves, we are creators? Because every time when we are disconnected from who we truly are, we have a tendency to like have this kind of anxiety, depression. Even if you're a successful person, you can see so many people are still in this inner struggle because they're not aligned with their true selves, and they still have this kind of addictions, maybe overconsumption, maybe it's real addictions, maybe it's just like giving away your energy. And we know that all the media outlets or messages that we receive on a daily basis, most of them are negative, to put in the very, bad state, so to say, vibrate us low, that we do become slaves, consuming all this, don't even thinking about this, what kind of messaging, kind of news, and it brings us down. And when you feel down, you are not really asking right questions. You are in a constant need. I need someone, or I need something. So you're searching in the outside world instead of connecting with your inner self, with this inner creator who can actually create reality, desired reality.
So I hear you, and now I really do understand it a bit more, and I do agree with you. So what do you do on a daily basis, they want to know, Valerie, to try to escape from all that? Because I think sometimes it's very sneaky and you don't even know it's getting in there. You're like, no, I'm not being affected by social media. But to some extent, we all are. So what do you do to disconnect and remind yourself every day?
Well, first of all, it's spending time with yourself when the day just begins. From the moment you open your eyes, I at least have tendency to ask myself, how do I actually feel? And just be transparently open, because it's okay to feel good, to feel not good, for example, to be exhausted. Or if you feel amazing, you feel great, then it's fabulous and amazing. But regardless how I feel, I do have my morning routine, and I do not recommend to say, oh, you have to do this and this and that. I do believe that every single person, because we're all unique, we have to find the tools and things that work for us. For some it works to wake early, for some not. For some people it's great to read and do this, I don't know, gym, go jogging. For some people not. Like I went jogging today at 6 in the morning, first time, and I have a knee problem because after over 20 years sport, I do have injuries. I was aware, but today I somehow was feeling I need to do this, be in nature. But you need to discover what is it for you. Another thing is, when it comes to social media, I think you have to be conscious whom you're following. Because when you're just like click, follow, and you see lots of negativity, or somebody is constantly triggering you, question mark, why are you following these people? Because the people whom you are following is actually becoming part of your reality that you are creating every single second. And if you're irritated, if you feel like, oh, I'm feeling dissatisfied, meaning you're attracting more of such energy. And it's nothing with kind of law of attraction, woo, spiritual, if you are on this path. It is scientific. So if you're listening, Joe Dispenza, some scientists, it's a proven fact. So just simply check, whom are you following? Who is triggering you? Maybe time to declutter.
By the way, I'm a big fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I tell people when they don't understand what I'm saying, or they think it might be just woo-woo, I go, just tune in to Dr. Joe Dispenza. He can explain it and break it down so beautifully. And thank God, there's more science to prove what I already believed, and like, yay, there's science behind it. So, Valerie, they want to know, you live in 5 different countries. Was there a country that you felt there was more opportunity for women? And I don't know all the 5 countries you lived in. I know you live in Poland. I think you lived in Dubai, but I don't know the rest.
Well, I'm Korean. I was born in Kazakhstan. I live in Poland, Germany, Dubai. What I want to say, no matter where you live, it's all about creating your own opportunities. Because of course you may feel like, oh, this is looking better or that is looking better. Every single country has its pros and cons, and in every single country you can face great things, you can face bad things. But for women, unfortunately, the funny thing, we've done recently a very interesting research. Artificial intelligence is everywhere, it's trend. And we're actually researching, if you are typing any kind of profession, like teachers, doctors, you go to executive level, CEOs level, you pick up particular industry, you may see that no matter what you choose, the first pictures are coming white men, because artificial intelligence, it learns from this common whatever is there out there. So if you see that 90% of everything is still that women are underpaid, women are discriminated, women are not funded, so many things, right? So no matter where you are, yeah, okay, we are in Europe. It's so many, like, you feel like you're free, but in reality, there are things that still restrict women from being who they are. In terms of here in Poland, you're not allowed to do abortion. So you don't have control over your body or even health. Life-endangering situation we're talking about. So in some like more traditional way, let's say, countries, you still see that women are treated as a second class. We may say, okay, women empowerment is booming, question mark. What is the quality of this women empowerment, and what is the real intention behind? Question.
Wow. Yeah. You know, I've traveled to other countries, but it's not the same as living in them. And I love hearing that from you because you really were in it. I was just there for like a week or two, not really getting, I get some of the culture, but not like you. And I remember the thing that stuck with me, Valerie, last time when we were just chatting before you came on, you said, yeah, I might be moving again. And I said, really? Where? You're like, I'm not sure. What, you have to plan it? I don't know. Just pack a bag and go.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's that easy. Like, you're not like committed to where you are. Like, home is where I hang my hat. Like, that's where I'm going to go. So I just want to know, have you had any decisions of where you might end up again, or you still don't know?
Well, I'm still exploring. I have some places in mind, and during the work that I'm doing currently, I have a plan to travel, see how it feels, are there any changes. Of course, when you have a family, like I have 2 kids, you have to think about the educational level, what is the opportunity, because they are growing, they're evolving, they have hobbies, what are the opportunities there for them to not to travel, but to develop this kind of skills. You see the talents. You need to consider all the things. But if to talk about myself, I literally can just pack and go. And in the past, I was the person who was so much attached to home. I was so much attached to things and people. I had amazing friends. I had a beautiful house. I had all these things, a comfortable life. But when you face a very life-changing event, like losing everything, I mean, I lost my parents one day, right? Mm-hmm. And you realize that life ends just like that. Just 1 second, you never know. And that's when this kind of realization comes that all these things, all what you attach to, it's not measurable. It's not something so important. It's illusion. You can create it, recreate it so many times, no matter where you are. If you believe in yourself, if you're aware what kind of skills and abilities you have, but being just it's beautiful to have house, it's beautiful to have family, but we are not just that. This is just one aspect of ourselves. And it's good to be like a home. I love home, but I also love to explore this world. I love to meet a lot of people, learn cultures, learn languages. It just depends who you are. There is no judgment. There is no good and bad.
Yeah. Well, I like that my friends are world travelers because when I travel, I have a destination and somebody to see. So I'll be like, Valerie, where are you moving? I'm going to come there. It gives me an excuse. Like, and you can show me around. All right. So you did mention a little bit about your production company, and that's why you're thinking of moving what you're doing. So with all the projects, and I know you, Valerie, you have so many going on. Your latest one with production company. Tell us why you started that and where you're going with it.
Well, I understand when people like look at my life, who was like following, engaging what I'm doing, they was like, oh, you're like like so many things are going on, right? And some people might say, oh, it's not relatable. But the funny thing is, at some point I had a dream, like, you know, to travel the world, do things that I love. And I had it when I became a world champion, like national champion. I had this opportunity to travel the world dancing, like participating in the best competitions I have been dreaming about, like living this dream life. But at some point when I became a first-time parent, I was just locked. I say locked. For me, it's locked.
Yeah.
Like like had no idea what to do with this screaming baby, like being on my own, right? And I was feeling, okay, I need to, I don't know, I had this call to do something for women. I don't know where it came from, because I was working like in investment in the world that is more like considered to be male dominated.
Yeah.
And it started to women, successful women, just to understand what they are doing, how they are creating their like realities, businesses, whatever they are. And I started to blog about this. At this point, like, it was not like something I was super passionate about, but I built up connections that led me to create the events. We did like live events in Europe, in Dubai during pandemic. We did also one of the virtual events. So it was virtual, and for me it was like, okay, again, virtual events is boring. What can we do different? So I always ask this question: how can I do something different? Something that I can learn, bring new people, have this fresh, you know, breath, at least for me, because I've never done this before. So we created a documentary movie for our community, The Unspoken Truth. Somebody noticed it and nominated to movie festival. And since then I was like, oh wow, like going through these processes, and I was like, had a dream to create a full production movie documentary, because I'm interested in the stories. So this year I registered company, because last year I embarked actually on this journey to create this movie that turned to be serious because I found women from different parts of the world, different cultures. I listened to their stories, and they contain so many powerful things inside. I was like, I cannot put it in one piece. It had to be serious. Now I am traveling to different countries, doing these interviews, creating these episodes. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's just like following this calling, following this intuition. I'm not movie producer. I have no idea how to do this. At least this was like 1 year ago. I have now professional crew. We created 4 episodes this week. We're creating the 5th one. There are so many different communities, media partners on board, influencers. It's just like going by itself. I don't know where it will lead. Wise was giving me, but that's why I say, like, connect with yourself. When you have this connection with yourself, this calling, and you follow this path, this will definitely bring you to something bigger. Sometimes you don't even, like, you can't even imagine dreams about. That's what happened to me with this world championship opportunities, so to say.
Well, Valerie, there's so many things to unpack there, but first of all, I want to say I'm so happy you're doing this. I mean, and how rewarding for you to be able to hear and highlight these women around the world and their stories. I can't even imagine. It must give you goosebumps every single time. I'm just sure. And how many women have you interviewed so far? And do you have a lot to go?
Yeah, it's 5, but in total it will be, I think, 10 like episodes. Of course, there are ongoing podcasts. There are, I don't know, over 30 and more every week. But for the series, yeah, we are targeting 10. Depends how it's going to be funded, of course. We will see how it will end up at the end.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah, there are so many people behind that we want to acknowledge, want to show, yeah, thank you, appreciate them, because in reality, there are more than just this 10, so to say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. The questions are coming in, so let's go back. They're like, she just brushed over the dance stuff and that she was a champion. And the ballroom. They want to know a little bit more about that. How long did you do that? And had you been dancing since you were, like, you know, coming out of the womb?
No, of course no. Well, I was always, I don't know, my parents, thanks to my parents, they were always bringing me here and there. I didn't like doing gymnastics. Then at some point, my sister, she was dancing like Korean traditional dancing. So she was like, you need to do it, you need to do it. So I went, tried this with dancing, like I think a couple of years, participating in different whatever competitions. But I said, you know, the funny thing is I wanted to be a singer. I told to my dad, you know, my parents, I'm going to study here. I want to be a singer. I want to be on this TV show. There was like every
Oh,
Sunday show, kids was singing, like participating in this competition. And my dad said, show business? Never. Just after my death. He literally told it. But, you know, I don't know. I somehow, it was very spontaneous thing. I tried, my sister was getting married and I wanted to prepare a surprise for her. So I started to learn dancing. So I prepared this nice show, waltz.
huh?
Since then, I fell in love in ballroom dancing. And it has been for over 23 years.
Mm. So, okay, so it's not like something people are saying, so it's not like something you knew since you were a kid. It's something you developed when you were older.
Yeah,
Were you in your 20s?
was a teen.
Yeah. Okay. And now, do you just do it as a hobby? What do you do with the ballroom dancing now?
Well, I'm not really doing it from time to time. When I go to trainings, I actually participated in a like pro am version dancing Latin with my trainer. Like it was a competition, but I don't do it now at this moment, unfortunately. Like, you know,
Yeah.
running business has its commitment. And when you're a professional ballroom dancer, people say, oh, dancing, but it's really sport, it's education. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
minimum hours every single day, up to 8 hours, 10 hours before World Championship, 12 hours per day. It's impossible. Like if you focus on something, you have to focus on it.
Yeah. 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 That's it. And did you have the same partner all those years, or did you switch in and out with different partners?
Different partners. Well, the story with my partner, last partner, let's say, I have 5 years break. I lived in South Korea and I had a dream to come back to the big sport, let's say, competitive. And I was watching lots of YouTube videos. And once I noticed there were team, like couples were dancing in a team, like 8 couples performing together, synchronous,
Oh,
so beautiful. I never seen this before because in our country there was no such opportunity. When I've seen this, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this German team and I love this Russian team. So I was like, watching all these like world championships, Asian championships. Like, funny thing, I just made this decision to come back to sport, and I moved to Europe because of that. And I started to looking for dance partner. There were a lot of messages coming in, and one of the guys, he wrote me from Germany and it's like, oh, I'm going to come for a tryout. I'm actually dancing in this German national team. So basically the team I really liked in this YouTube. It's crazy. But yeah, this with whom we like became world champions. We created a family. We created like business alignment at some point. Now we do our own things on our own, but it's like live dance business partnership.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And I know you're going to do the same thing with your new business, because when you're in, you're all in, Valerie. Like you're just all in. You go, go, go. You can see the passion in your eyes for this new production company. All right, so with the production company, they want to know, we know you're highlighting women, 10 women from around the world, but is there a theme? Is there something you're focusing on with the documentary about the women?
Well, it's particularly about freedom, reminding women about their true power, because we were biased from the very beginning that woman like Eva was, you know, the truth is, there was the first woman on this planet Earth, the Lilith. She was created as an equal partner to man. But because we women have this incredible power deep inside, like you often maybe hear, oh, you're very intuitive, or you can, you know, feel more than man. So because we do have this natural power that can, I don't know, create new galaxies, truly unleash it, manifestation power, this inner wisdom, everything what we have, for any kind of reason, it was suppressed. That's why even, you know, our grandmothers, parents, they were living in this illusion that they are not capable. They still, women do not have access to education, and still we see, like this week we're creating episode about situation in Iran. It's not financial freedom, it's not even equality in payment. It's as simple as it is. Lives of women are still in danger. Still in danger when they are born, still in danger when they are in the womb of a mother. Because culture where I come from, it's still sad. Are you expecting a girl? You probably need to do abortion, especially if it's a second kid or third kid. There are so many. It's real world, and we will say, oh, it's like, look, it's 2023. Yes, it's 2023. Girls, like especially girls, like, yeah, human trafficking, what is happening with girls, what is happening with the women living in these traumas and inheriting this, passing it to the, I'm mom of 2 daughters, and I don't want my daughters to live this, you know, limited life.
Yeah.
First, if to talk about Western world, even though we also have these issues, it's just covered. We still have this, like, you have to prove yourself, invest decades literally to deserve a seat at the table. It's crazy, right? We could actually spend these years, enjoy our life, self-express ourselves, make a lot of money, create wealth. Why should we invest all these decades just to self-prove ourselves? This is like a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, and thank you for saying all that, Valerie, because I think so many times in our little world, we want to just put on blinders and not admit in 2023 it's still going on. And it's still going on, you know? I was just talking to a friend of mine, and the same thing. Her daughter was almost going to get on a plane across the country, and it ended up being like for a white trafficking thing, and she had no idea. And they're like, oh my God, how could that happen in this day and age? Now they caught it, but it's crazy, you know, because you don't want to think that's still like, it's impossible. No, that's impossible. So good for you. And I'm so pumped that you had that dream about this production company and that you're doing it. But before we go, tell everyone how they can find you, and also what can they do to support your production company and help you on this journey.
Well, particularly, I mean, it's not just like about the production company, it's particularly about this project. It's one of the projects that this is like my heart. Let's say, what do I bring on the table? I bring my heart on the table, because it's so much, like, you know, when your vision is bigger than thousands of vision can be like, it can contain thousands of visions of other people. It's probably like this exactly project. And if people resonate with this, really seeing women thriving, it's about real unity. It's about, when I say real women empowerment, it's not about like getting this rewards, like, no, people, like, maybe, I don't know if you receive these emails, like people emailing you, or pay for this reward, and be like, you know, it's all about like praising yourself in a way, or I don't know, creating books or things that nobody's reading. I understand that maybe somebody needs it, but when we talk about the real women empowerment, it's changing conversation in your own mind. It's changing conversations when we talk to each other. we respect each other, we show interest to each other's projects. I appreciate that you support me and bringing into your life, into your community, right? And whatever, like I have something, like I was inviting you to speak at the events still, right? This is about true collaboration, or the conversations inside of the communities when women are still like talking bad about each other, competing, judging, they still exist. So if you really resonate with this real women empowerment, when women do treat each other like respectfully, when they're truly about supporting, truly about seeing, being heard, being seen, and as I mentioned, freedom, particularly on physical level, but obviously mentally wise. Just being who yourself, not being afraid about this. Look, this life is short. For us, it may be, 80 years, 100 years, but on a soul level, it's just 1 second. It's just one single experience, and you don't want to waste it on stupid things, like self-proof yourself. Say that, I deserve, especially if you have different color of your skin, especially if you are like, gender-wise, whatever. Why do you need to waste this time? And I can talk a lot about this. Maybe another woman or another person somewhere in this world also talking about this, but we cannot make change just on our own. So this project is all about uniting, bringing these huge forces together. And if you resonate, you are welcome to support our crowdfunding campaign that we launched in order to raise funds, create authentic episodes, invest in marketing to spread the word, to reach millions of people, and eventually we do events, live events, where these people can meet each other, finally connect on a human being level, not all this like Web3, whatever. It's great, it's amazing, but don't forget that we're still human beings. We have soul, we have heart. To love this touch. So yeah, you know where to find me. I'm here on Instagram. You can find the link in my bio. If you're resonating with vision, I'm happy to have all these authentic people who are all about truth, no BS, and really ready to speak up with their true gifts, true abilities, unleash their human being identity, so to say.
Yeah. Go, Valerie. All right, Valerie. Well, I'm so glad we connected, and I'm so glad you spent this time with my gang. Everyone, don't worry. Listen, if you didn't catch the beginning of the episode, it's okay. What I'm going to do when Valerie and I are done, I'm going to record it, and then I'm going to put it on all the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We would both really appreciate you sharing and liking it. Spread the love around. There's so many people that could be inspired by this. But before we go, you know what I'm going to say. Thank you, Valerie, and toodles, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Valerie. It doesn't want to disconnect. It's like, be on with Valerie.
Hey.